Good afternoon, or should I say evening, morning. Morning? At any rate, I'm the Game Master. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Before we begin, there is something I must tell you. You see, my job is to draw you into this world with my voice and cards, which is why I believe it best for you to play with the sound on. In fact, I insist on it. However, as you can see, my voice is subtitled, so you can always read along as well. Now then, are you ready? Let's begin. Welcome to Voice of Cards. You are about to take the first steps of your adventure. Through a realm of sword and sorcery you will travel, battling bloodthirsty monsters as you strive to realize your ambitions. I have every faith you will accomplish great things here. I am merely a witness to your exploits. Now then, your departure draws nigh. May your journey be a safe one. We begin in a cave. The surrounding rocks are slimy with damp. It feels as if some foul creature could leap out from the shadows at any moment. Yet in this horrible place gathers a fellowship of 3 adventurers. One is a young woman. You can tell just by looking at her, she enjoyed a good upbringing. Another is a stoic warrior. He stands at the ready, scanning his surroundings for any sign of threat. Last but not least is the old man. He has a sagely air and gazes into the darkness stretching out before him. These adventurers seek a certain treasure hidden in this cave. An iron door towers before you. It has rather conspicuous handles. The stoic man takes hold of the handles and pulls as hard as he can, but the door doesn't so much as budge. The stoic man winds his leg back and lets fly a powerful kick into the door. As his foot connects, the door trundles to the side. So it was one of those sliding contraptions. Something leaps out at the Fellowship from the darkness. was lucky. These adventurers have seen their fair share of battle and defeat their attackers with ease. As the trio approaches the treasure chest, an awful rumbling resounds deep in the cave. "You shall not have it," a voice growls. Before the wary trio appear creatures the likes of which they've never seen. And fight. The young woman edges around the monster's bulk to stand before the treasure chest. There is treasure inside, no doubt about it, but it's locked tight. The woman slides the simple key into the lock. The chest clicks open. Inside is what appears for all the world to be an ordinary medicine bottle. At last, we've retrieved the royal treasure, the old man says. The woman and warrior exchange a nod. Their quest complete, the triumphant trio put the cave behind them. This is Castle Advent. Queen Nilla reigns over the kingdom from within its walls. In the crowded audience chamber jostle all manner of knights, adventurers, and bounty hunters. The white-robed adventurers stand close to the throne. A palace guard calls over the tumult, "Be silent. Her Royal Majesty graces us with her presence." The cacophony ceases the moment Queen Nilla enters the chamber. Seated upon the throne, the Queen faces the crowd, her lips part. "Thank you all for heeding my call to slay the dragon. Whatever it takes to defeat this reawakened evil, I ask that you do it. Whomsoever conquers this beast will be honored for ages to come and handsomely rewarded." At that, the gathered crowd cheers loud enough to shake the castle's very foundations. "Leave the dragon to us, Your Majesty," say the white-robed adventurers, as if the beast's demise at their hands is assured. "Indeed, you did well to reclaim the royal treasure," the Queen replies. "I thank you, for my stomach becomes most upset without it, so the treasure is a staple of the royal medicine cabinet. It puts my mind at ease to know the Ivory Order offers its aid in slaying the dragon." The trio are disciples of the Ivory Order, a charitable organization beloved the realm over. Indeed, anyone would think this illustrious trio the heroes of our tale. But they'd be wrong. "So we just gotta slay the dragon and we'll be drowning in gold." The man trails off, drooling over unknowable fantasies. Beside him, a strange creature lets out a chirping coo. Pay attention, because this is important. There he is, or there you are, I should say, the hero of our tale. A humble bounty hunter. You love little in this realm more than coin. A seemingly tedious fellow who doesn't hesitate to claim the title of hero for yourself. When you heard about the quest to slay the dragon, it was the promise of reward that lured you to the castle. Now then, if you wish to officially register for the hunt, see me so I can get your signature. You wonder why you need to sign anything, but head for the guard anyway. Shall we? We of the Ivory Order will be the ones to restore peace to the land, brags a white-robed man. My colleague made me come along, but he didn't mention we were going on a quest to slay the dragon, she says, trembling. The man takes one look at your companion and shrieks, Monster! You think the dragon's really as tough as they say? Asks the man, his knees knocking together. That reward for slaying the dragon is as good as mine, barks the man. You'll need tough gear if you're going to beat the dragon, the man tells you. Keep your ears perked. You never know what you might hear that'll lead you in the right direction, the man says. You think. If the heroes of the Ivory Order are hunting the dragon, he's as good as dead, says the man, relief spreading across his face. The Ivory Order trio stands before you. They seem not the most approachable of parties, but... You don't think you have anything to say? On second thought, yeah, you still don't. You inquire about their identities. We are disciples of the Ivory Order. It is our duty to aid the realm and its people however we can. The Order's principal focus is developing medicine to distribute to people throughout the world. They begin blathering an answer to a question you didn't even ask. Sensing a long lecture ahead, you seize on the first chance to extricate yourself from their presence. You try to speak to the trio again, but they're too involved in hashing out some sort of plan of attack to pay you any mind. You try to speak to Queen Nilla, but a guard blocks your path. Figures a nobody bounty hunter can't just walk up to a queen and start chatting like they're best friends. Go talk to the guard on the left to sign your name on the register. Sign here, says the guard, handing you a pen and paper. You sign your name. A fine name. After you've signed, the guard motions to the strange creature beside you, the monster too. You sign your companion's name as well, Mar. Mar, your friend and sometimes traveling companion. Though he can't speak the human tongue, he seems to understand it well enough. Thank you. Now we'll know what to have engraved on your tombstones. Can't ask the dead what name to mark their grave with, after all, the guard chortles. You want the reward as badly as you don't want to die. You figure you better make some strong friends. Find some good people to help you fight the beast. You're less likely to die that way, says the guard. Offer to join forces with the Ivory Order trio? We select few are sufficient to defeat the dragon. We require no additional aid. And we certainly don't require the aid of a no-name wastrel. With that, the trio takes their leave of the castle. I am one of the guards charged with the castle's protection. I take not a single step from my post. I am one of the guards charged with the castle's protection. I'll leave the dragon slaying to you adventurers. Asking Queen Nilla to join you is beyond preposterous. Better not even try. Don't get yourself killed out there, says the guard curtly. Never know what you might hear that'll lead you in the right direction. The man wanders off somewhere, muttering to himself. I'll let the Order handle this. Me, I'm heading home. Before you even open your mouth to ask him to team up, he cuts you off. Thanks, but no thanks. You ask him to team up, but he refuses angrily. I ain't splitting the reward with nobody. You weren't planning on sharing either, so you don't try to change his mind. You'll need tough gear, the man says, wandering off. No way am I adventuring with anyone who keeps that sort of creepy company, he says. Let us depart. We have a realm to save. He grabs his less than enthused colleague by the wrist and drags her off. You catch a glimpse of the terrified look on her face. And then the two disappear out of the audience chamber. The castle will close to visitors shortly. Please be on your way. You're shooed out of the castle. In the end, you set out, just the two of you, to hunt the dragon. How may I help you? The proprietress inquires. Will that be all? The proprietress asks. A weapons merchant accosts you in the street, despite your best efforts to mind your own business. He speaks to you in a voice barely above a whisper. You want the most powerful weapon there ever was? He conspicuously checks his surroundings before revealing this weapon of apparent renown to you. To hear him tell it, this is a legendary weapon, and one of its kind at that. It can be yours for 20,000 gold pieces, he says. You can smell the scam a mile away, and yet the aura of this weapon does have something of the legendary about it. You open your coin purse only to find you don't have 20,000 gold pieces. No money, no sale. He tucks the weapon away once more. Changed your mind, have you? Come to buy the legendary weapon after all? He whispers eagerly. You ask who in their right mind would pay so much for something so clearly fake, stolen, or forged. Well, you know where to find me, if you change your mind, he says, tucking the weapon away. The old man kindly warned you of the dangerous monsters outside of town. The child says you should see Nexton as soon as you leave the castle town. The door is shut tight. You spy a keyhole on it, suggesting the existence of a corresponding key. You peek inside the carriage shop only to hear the owner call out that they're closed. Guess you won't be making use of them after all. Before you stands a sign calling for people to join the hunt for the dragon. Earlier, you saw the bit about the handsome reward for whoever slays the dragon, and hightailed it to the castle. A woman stares at the sign, transfixed. Her face curls into a scowl as she notices you. "Monster!" the woman cries, and flings magic at Mar. Startled by the spell, Mar grows dizzy. You whirl to the woman and shout, "What are you doing?" "This ain't a monster," you growl, as the woman snarls over you, "I hate monsters." The two of you bicker for quite a while. In the end, the woman admits she may have jumped to conclusions, but stubbornly refuses to apologize. Inwardly, you call her unsavory names as your attention shifts to a different topic of conversation. Turns out she really hates the dragon and would love to take him down with her own two hands. But she knows she's no match for him alone, so she's at a loss for what to do. When you tell her you're after the same thing, she squints down her nose at you. "Fine," she says, "I can help you." No way are you teaming up with someone who attacked you out of the blue. But as you open your mouth to tell her off, "I only want to see the dragon dead. I don't care about anything else," she mutters. You overhear her remarks and grin without thinking. Then you don't care about getting a share of the reward. You couldn't have asked for a better companion. Your opinion of her improved. You happily joined forces with the black-clad woman. She introduces herself as Melanie. She tells you she is a witch, but says nothing of why she hates monsters or what grudge she bears against the dragon. "Welcome to Nexton," hails a man. The man doesn't respond to any question except to parrot back his original greeting. You try asking the man if he knows anything about the dragon. The man's eyes widen. He leans close, cupping his hand to his mouth. "Welcome to Nexton," he whispers in your ear. With no particular business, you take your leave. How may I help you? The proprietor inquires. Will that be all? The proprietor asks. The woman tells you she's so terrified of what might happen if the dragon attacks the town, she hasn't been able to eat. The man helpfully advises you take the opportunity to purchase equipment and curatives while you are in town. A woman sits hunched over by the side of the road. Upon catching sight of you, she calls out for your aid. She's sprained her ankle and needs you to take her to the nearby apothecary. You try to lift the woman into your arms, but the weight's too much for you to bear. You lay the woman back down where you found her and mutter a quiet farewell before turning to leave. Upon seeing that, Melanie snaps. What kind of person are you? Ain't like it's my fault she's hurt, you whine like a child. Ignoring you, Melanie gingerly helps the woman up. Mar bends so the woman can get on his back, and the two of them head off in search of the apothecary. You watch them walk away for a moment before following, complaining to yourself about what a waste of time this is. You arrive at the apothecary. After taking a curative, the woman begins hopping up and down. Nothing holds a candle to Ivory Order medicine, she beams. She thanks you and pulls something from her breast pocket. You've helped someone, albeit not quite out of the goodness of your own heart. It might be a good idea to do that again, should you come across anyone else in need of assistance. If you do, I'm sure something good will happen. The girl says if you follow this road northwest for a bit, you'll come to Thriston. On your way to defeat the dragon, are you? The innkeeper inquires as you set foot inside. The innkeeper gives you a room free of charge in a show of support for any and all who wish to defeat the dragon. The party leaves the inn feeling rested. It seems the majority of the world's medicine is made by the Ivory Order. Many people depend on it. That's probably part of the reason the Order has so many ardent supporters. Nothing holds a candle to Ivory Order medicine, proclaims the woman, swigging this curative and that. Apparently, a monster researcher lives in Thriston and might know something about the dragon. It seems you've learned all you can here. Time to move on. As your eyes roam everywhere but the path you walk, you barrel right into someone. When you turn to see who it is, you see the Ivory Order trio from the castle. Winifred, are you all right? The sagely old man asks the woman, voice full of concern. I'm fine, the woman called Winifred replies. Thank you, Hedwyn. Berwin, the old man calls, turning to their stoic companion. He jerks forward, as if to defend Hedwyn and Winifred. The trio advances on you. How dare you treat disciples of the Ivory Order with such disrespect? They're the ones who ran into you, so if anything, they should be apologizing. We were standing still, says Hedwyn, his calm tone belying the anger on his face. Muttering a half-hearted apology, you try to keep walking. But that's when you notice something in your hand. Looks like you accidentally grabbed Winifred's coin purse when you ran into her. Thief, bellows Berwin, drawing his weapon. Guess you've got to fight your way past. Down, but they're still alive. The Ivory Order laid you out flat. The Ivory Order trio looks at you like they can't believe such a weakling would even try to hunt down the dragon. Taking pity on your ineptitude, the Ivory Order trio uses their magic to heal your wounds. We mustn't tarry any longer. To the monster researcher of Thriston with us. Hedwyn urges his companions and the trio depart. Aimless wandering can be fun, but if you want purpose and direction, I'd suggest sticking to the path. Good work. about the enemy. You journey onward, only to see a suspicious-looking elder appear before you, a bottle of medicine dangling from his waist. He proclaims himself a man of medicine who has discovered a revolutionary new curative. He would have one of your party drink it as a test. There's no harm in trying it, he boldly claims. Well? Melanie's face twists in disgust, but she soon relents. Here's hoping this does something useful, she mutters, and takes a swig. She experiences a sudden surge of magic power. The rush is so sudden, she can't quite contain it. A stray bolt of pure magical power strikes you in the chest and sends you flying. You land squarely on your back. In seconds, you scramble to your feet to lodge righteous indignation in Melanie's direction. You turn to accost the doctor, but he's gone. Seconds later, the magic that issued forth from every fiber of Melanie's being fades, and her powers return to normal. Trees bearing very solid-looking nuts whip to and fro in the force of the gale. This doesn't bode well for you. A bunch of nuts fly off from the trees, but you and your friends hightailed it out of there before any of them could hit you. pick up a scrap of paper dropped by some manner of monster. It has a message scrawled on it in crude lettering. Clearly, whoever dropped this message did not want to forget where the stolen treasure is hidden. You stash the scrap of paper in your pack and resolve to keep an eye out for the treasure on your travels. Here to stay the night? The innkeeper asks the moment you set foot in the inn. Don't hold back. You kick a rock down the road, muttering about what jerks those three from the Ivory Order are. Cut it out, chides Melanie. She warns you your anger will only come back to bite you in the rear. You grumble, but your sulking is cut short when out of the thicket leaps a monster. The rock you kicked must have hit it, because it is really mad. Brace yourself for battle. Welcome. 100 gold pieces will get you wherever you're headed, the master says as you set foot in the carriage shop. You will be instantly transported to any location you've previously visited. Travel for 100 gold pieces? Well, if it isn't the head of the National Inn Association's son, the innkeeper blurts out, overcome with surprise. You've clearly been mistaken for someone else, but the innkeeper looks so excited that you dare not burst her bubble. Your room is free. It seems the sound of a flute could once often be heard coming from the doctor's house. His neighbors complained about the noise, though, and all has been quiet since. The man says you'll need a torch to explore caves. And, he adds, it just so happens you can buy them at the item shop. You get the feeling he probably works for said shop. The man scours his skin with a washcloth, trying to rid himself of all odor. Apparently, he blames his natural musk for his unlucky love life. You catch a whiff of scent wafting off him. It is rather pungent. An idea strikes you. Maybe getting rid of the toxins within the body would get rid of the odor without, too. You fish around in your bag, but can't seem to find an antidote anywhere. Apparently, monsters have been mugging people along this stretch of road lately. The Ivory Order is searching for where they're stashing the stolen goods. The woman tells you a monster stole something very valuable from her. If only someone could get it back for me, she sighs. What did it steal, you ask? Medicine, says the woman, to give my skin a lustrous glow. How may I help you? The proprietress inquires. Will that be all? The proprietress asks. The woman, who fashions herself a missionary of love, haughtily cries she's too beautiful and popular for her own good. This is the game parlor. Come play cards, the boy at reception calls. Don't let it get you down. Come play again, says the boy, waving. Cyprian Ambre, I'm sorry, Cyprian Amber, has lived here for many years, conducting research on monsters. All the townsfolk affectionately call him Cypri. If anyone knows anything about the dragon, it's him. He's a veritable monster expert. You ask Cypri if he knows anything about the dragon. He says he'll tell you if you do him a favor. The monsters stole a precious treasure from him. If you reclaim the treasure, Cypri promises to tell you all he knows about the dragon. It seems the treasure-thieving monster makes its hideout in the western cave. That's where you'll want to head. You hand him an antidote and he chugs it down. As soon as he's finished, the odor completely disappears. Overjoyed, the man resolves to tell the person he likes how he feels. From his breast pocket, the man pulls out something to give you in thanks. The man says it was all thanks to you he was able to get rid of his odor and tell the person he likes how he feels. You are surprised to find a merchant selling goods in a place like this. You decide to take a look, and the merchant welcomes you energetically. These are my unsold wares. I would be happy to sell to you for a fraction of the price, the old woman says as she lines up some medicine bottles before you. I'm closing for the day, she announces as she packs up her goods. It seems you won't be able to do any more shopping here. Light can't reach the furthest depths of the cave. It may be impossible to proceed without a torch. You light the torch. It'll be much easier to explore now with your surroundings better illuminated. Torch lights your immediate surroundings, you still cannot peer far into the distance. That was lucky. And fight. And fight. Nice work. Don't hold back. The door is shut tight. It seems some strange force keeps it barred. Upon closer examination of the door, you spot a cavity that looks like some sort of sphere should go there. lucky. You put the magic sphere into the cavity, and the door opens. Excellent. And fight. A claret trail leads you deeper into the cave. Was the walking wounded a monster or a human? A knot forms in your gut. You raise the torch to get a better look at your surroundings. The walls have been gouged and scarred as far as you can see. Another message comes into view, written in tiny letters among the scars. I will find you. What horrors transpired here? That was lucky. Fortune favors the bold. make to open the chest, but an ominous voice echoes around you. I will not relinquish my horde. The next instant, something leaps at you out from the darkness. Nice work. Excellent. The monster defeated, you turn toward the treasure chest. And see those Ivory Order jerks rooting through it. You rush over, but you're too late to stop them. Sweet of you to take care of the monsters for us, trills Winifred, favoring you with a smile. Tucking the spoils from the chest safely into a bag, the Ivory Order trio stroll away whence they came. Knowing you couldn't stop them if you tried, you can do nothing but stand slack-jawed and watch them go. The chest is empty, save for a ragged doll. Nice of them to leave us the trash, you grumble in irritation. For some reason, Melanie picks up the ragged doll. Your shoulders slump. All that effort, and this is all you get to show for it? You find nothing else even close to treasure. Hope Cypri is ready for bad news. Leave now would be the fastest way out. You decide to stay and explore the cave a little longer. Nice work. Excellent. about the enemy. Were you able to find my treasure? Cypri asks. This is all we found, says Melanie, withdrawing the ragged doll. Cypri's eyes widen as soon as he sees the doll, and he reaches out to take it. Without breaking his gaze away from the doll, he begins to speak. Cypri tells you he gifted this doll to his young daughter a long time ago. But she fell gravely ill and died. Since then, Cypri has treasured this doll as he treasured his daughter. Then the monsters took it from him. Cypri turns to Melanie, his head bowed deeply in gratitude. So you reclaimed the treasure by complete accident. You step closer to Cypri. What do you know about the dragon? You rudely inquire. Cypri gestures as if to say, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Far to the east of town is a place called Unionville, where monsters and humans live together in harmony. According to Cypri, you might be able to learn something there, as the dragon and monsters are not totally unrelated. Upon hearing that, you turn on your heel to leave. Cypri calls out to stop you. Journeying to Unionville entails traversing the dense expanse of the bewildering wood. You'll need this, he says, and holds out something for you. You won't make it through the bewildering wood without it, Cypri says. Your sights set on the distant Unionville, you resolve to navigate through the bewildering wood. You come across two men sitting on a rock. They take no notice of you or the party, but you can hear their fervent discussion. You listen in and deduce that they are a pair of thieves. You lean in, trying to hear what else the thieves are talking about. You catch pieces of the conversation here and there. I hid the goods. Head south just before the bridge. No, whatever ye do, don't go into the bewildering wood. It sounds like they've just told you where to find their stolen loot. You hastily grab a scrap of paper, write down what you've heard, and quietly sneak away. A thick fog impedes your vision. You surmise this is in no small part why they call it the Bewildering Wood. Many a brave soul has set foot in this wood, only to be swallowed up and never seen nor heard from again, the traveler intones gravely. They also tell of a certain tool one needs to get through this place. Good work. A message is written on the sign. Seek out the Forest Stela hidden deep in these woods. You hear a beautiful melody flowing from the forest depths. It sounds like singing, or perhaps birdsong. You take a peek inside the grass and immediately find the owner of the voice. It's a harpy. It seems like the harpy hasn't yet noticed you. You pick up a rock and throw it at the monster's feet. Startled, the monster flaps its wings and flies away. You find some coins scattered about where it stood. You have found the Northern Stela. It doesn't look particularly special. You resolve to touch it anyhow. Stela is... You hear someone murmuring? It sounds like a man, but you can't really be sure in these woods. And fight. Fortune favors the bold. You have found the Southern Stela. You smack it and hear a sound off to the west. You'd best head that way next. You have found the Western Stela, which you swear up and down was not here when you came in. Nevertheless, you give it a smack. woman appears to be lost. How do I get out of here? She asks with furrowed brows. Nuts fly off the trees and smack you and your friends right on the head. Everyone's faces screw up in agony. You have found the Eastern Stela. You see the words Melody of Fortune chiseled into the corner. You have investigated all 4 of the Stela in the bewildering wood. You hear a sound, and it's not all that far away. Your body is soothed by the gentle tone. It feels as though your fatigue has somehow washed away. You examine the stela. The message carved into the stela reads, "Play in tune with the forest." You hold the woodland flute you received from the good doctor in Thriston. Doot 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 doodly, doot 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 doo. You blow a handful of pleasant enough notes into the woodland flute. You soon become aware of accompanying percussion, which reveals itself to be a series of impeccably timed footfalls racing toward you. A young woman appears before you. "That was absolutely dreadful," she whinges, her jaunty gait betraying her enjoyment. She calls herself Ridis and declares herself a woodlander, resident of the bewildering wood. By sheer coincidence, the flute on which you played those notes was one designed to call the woodland people to your side. Stunned by your good fortune, you ask Ridis to lead you eastward out of the forest. What luck! She agrees far more readily than you ever anticipated. But, she continues, extending her hand, you'll have to hand over the woodland flute first. You hand over the flute, firmly restating that she may have it on the condition she leads you out of the bewildering wood. Ridis plucks the woodland flute out of your hands with glee and begins playing it as she skips away. Well, playing is a generous term. It sounds as though she may as well be murdering the poor thing. Ridis makes it clear that the fastest way out of the woods is through woodland, where she lives. "It's that-a-way," Ridis says gleefully, pointing past the stela before you. One of the nuts flies off a branch and smacks Mar right on the head. Poor Mar clutches the spot, eyes tearing up from the blow. "Welcome to Woodland," Ridis says, gesturing out over the village. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm quite busy for the rest of the day, so you'll have to wait till tomorrow to leave the forest," she says, and makes her way home. Welcome to the Forest Oasis, the man greets you warmly. You happen upon a man greedily guzzling well water. Could it truly be that much better than ordinary water? This shortcut is reserved for use by woodland citizens only, the guard barks, clearly unwilling to let you pass. Apparently she's heard rumors of the dragon destroying another town somewhere. Our village would burn down so easily, she mutters, perhaps a bit more afraid of the symptom than the cause. You learn that Ridis's family is mired in debt and living hand to mouth. And I know how they got in so much trouble, the rumor mongerer says deliciously. We are not in the business of meddling in the personal affairs of others, Melanie says curtly, cutting her off. Ridis pores over a book while practicing on the woodland flute. She remains dreadful at it. The instant you begin speaking, she nearly leaps out of her skin and hides the book. She somehow hadn't noticed you. I thought you were the debt collectors. You can't sneak up on me like that, she stammers, struggling to regain her composure. You take note of a woman who appears quite ill. As it turns out, she is none other than Ridis's mother. She is in no small amount of pain. Will you give her something to ease her suffering? The item you've proffered has no effect on her illness, but I appreciate the thought all the same. she says with a smile. Ridis's mother hands you mysterious card 3 as a token of her gratitude. She begins speaking of Ridis, who has been preparing the medicine that helps her get through the day. She blames her illness, and therefore herself, for making Ridis's life so difficult. The more she talks, the more her face drops. Been a while since we've had any outsiders, the innkeeper says, beckoning the party inside. It turns out this inn is simply a place where the poor, lost souls trapped in the bewildering wood may recover. You may stay as long as you like, free of charge. The wooden dining table practically groans under the weight of the platters upon it, all brimming with meats and vegetables from the bewildering wood. I've certainly earned this, you say to yourself, as you slide into your seat at the table, positively drooling over the feast before you. Melanie takes no note of your boorish behavior, uttering a small prayer of thanksgiving before reaching for a plate of vegetables. Mar sits, eyes fixed on the food upon the table, statuesque in his stillness. What a good boy. Mar clears the entire table in a matter of seconds, even emptying the water barrel in a single gulp. He lets out a self-satisfied burp that sends a small jet of just-drank water arcing out onto the floor. The sun sinks low, and the day draws to a close. A scream pierces the silence. Fire! You leap out of bed, adrenaline coursing through your veins. The others follow suit, and before long you've burst through the front door and into the street. Ridis's house is ablaze, a nearby villager screams. My mother is still inside, Ridis shrieks, darting past you to fetch water from the wells south of the village. Ridis is gathering water in an attempt to fight the blaze all on her own. You toss a nearby bucket into the well and haul it up by the rope. Rather, you attempt to, but thanks to Mar robbing you of a meal, your strength fails you. Mar's eyes light up. He scrambles over the edge of the well and sucks the well dry in an instant. He pokes at his swollen belly and gestures toward Ridis's house, as if to say, "Get me back there, quick." Quickly, put it out. You have to put it out, Ridis screams at Mar. Mar douses the house with the water he sucked up from the well. The fire is reduced to mere embers, and all is well. Or so you think. Something darts out from behind the house and attacks. The fiery beast dispatched, you return to putting out the last of the blaze with Mar's help. Ridis's mother, now safe, tells you the creature came out of nowhere and set the house aflame. What would bring a creature of fire to a place like this, you wonder? Light breaks on a new day, and the commotion of the fire feels but a nightmare. You lead your party to Ridis's house to ask for safe passage out of the bewildering wood. Though spared from complete collapse, Ridis's home has been thoroughly scorched. Ridis's mother tells you she was once deceived by a crooked merchant and plunged into debt. Ridis has been working to repay the debt ever since her mother took ill. You lightly press your thumb and forefinger to the corner of each eye, a mixture of sadness and anger swirling within you. Riddis sits alone in one of its rooms, the air thick with the smell of char. There shouldn't be any fire creatures for miles, she grumbles. She says the monster appeared while she was playing the woodland flute last night. As to why any monsters, let alone fire monsters, appeared, well... Despite the circumstances, you ask Riddis to lead you out of the bewildering wood as promised. I did promise that, didn't I? She says wearily, rising from her seat. The poor girl is clearly still in shock. Why do you want to venture out beyond the bewildering wood anyway? She inquires, as she gathers this and that in preparation to leave. We are in search of the dragon, you say valiantly, adding, the reward will be significant should we defeat him. Honesty is the best policy. Sounds like a real risky way to make a living, she replies flatly, feigning interest. A group of Ivory Order people came through here just the other day, she explains. You connect the dots with malice. Those three, you seethe. At last, Riddis is ready to depart for the edge of the bewildering wood. This road takes you to the east side of the bewildering wood, but you'd be hard-pressed to find your way without a woodlander's help, the guard warns. Upon seeing that Riddis is with you, he steps aside and lets you through. The eastern portion of the woods certainly does not want for thick, soupy fog.